Thank you kindly, and welcome back to the last Right Stuff Reads book club before our summer break. This is what we're going to be tackling, Obstacles to Young Love by David Nobbs. If you've read it, we would love to hear your thoughts. You can text, tweet or email them to Kirsty. Anne, Nihal, book club veterans now are still with us, as is our viewer-reviewer. She's from Liverpool. She's a manager for a community radio station. Her name is Cath. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. Give her a round of applause, ladies. What have you been reading before you got into this?
Well, at the moment I'm reading the Wallander novels by Henning Mankell.
Okay, enjoying them?
Absolutely fantastic. They're just so bloody. So many body parts. So much fun. It's so dark as well.
Is crime an area you like?
Yeah, well, I'm a writer, you see, and I've written a short film that's been commissioned in Liverpool, and that's a crime film, and also I'm writing a crime novel as well. So I've the last couple of years, I've really got immersed into crime fiction. I just enjoy it so much.
Okay, okay. It's interesting you mentioned that you quite like the darkness, because that leads a little into this. I should tell you a bit about it. Obstacles to Young Love. It's David Nobbs' 18th book, including the Reggie Perrin novels. Yes, David Nobbs gave the world the fabulously inept Reggie Perrin, immortalised on telly by Leonard Rossiter. The leading man in Obstacles to Young Love is Timothy. He's a devout Christian, destined to take on his dad's business as a taxidermist. He doesn't stuff animals, by the way. He moulds them, don't you know? His leading lady is Naomi. Timothy and Naomi are teenage sweethearts, but every obstacle imaginable, including a stuffed curlew, gets in the way of their love. We follow them over the years as they come together and fall apart. She becomes an actress in a series of failed sitcoms. He carries on stuffing dead animals. Sorry, moulding them. It's kind of in-gag from the novel. But they both married twice, never successfully, and all the time we, the reader, know deep down they both still want each other. You know the saying, never go back? Well, they do too, but that doesn't stop them turning up individually to a 25-year school reunion. Will it end happily ever after? Does it ever? You'll have to read it yourself to find out. Now, for his part, David Nobbs has an amazing comedy pedigree. So I think the first question I'll put to you, Anne, is, did it make you laugh?
Not out loud, no.
Me neither.
No, it was a little chitter. I think it was just this appreciation, you know, you get from the sort of comics who tell you about the minutiae of everyday life, and you think, yeah, that's us, that's me, fancy him noticing that. He does a lot of that. It's these little asides, and that's why, you know, the fact that he comes from a TV background is, this book is TV written all through it. It's just like, it's like a cross between a sitcom and a soap opera, and it goes on over a long period of time with these little, you know, noticing little things about life and the way they can change you.
But all the time, you kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you do. You feel you're being drawn inexorably along, and there's no way
that you have a superior knowledge to the characters themselves. Nihal, congratulations, first of all, because I know you've actually read this one, so that's a major step forward as a book reviewer. What did you like about it?
What I liked about it was the surrealness of it. It had a slightly surreal touch, and there were one or two moments where I did laugh out loud. I liked the fact that the darkness of it really stopped it from being overly twee, because it could become really, really twee, a book like this. The things I didn't like about it, though, was that the ending, I just didn't want that ending. I didn't want that ending because...
You have to be careful, because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, OK, I'll leave it there. I didn't want that ending particularly.
But I actually cried.
Did you?
Not at the very end, but...
You weren't bored?
No. I found that because the characters are pretty much my age.
You identified
with I really kind of identified with them. I found it all a bit overwhelming.
I identify with the hit and miss nature of life. And the fact that, I mean, I fell in love with somebody who, and we were never single at the same time. And we often used to joke to each other, if only we'd ever been single at the same time. And there's a lot of that in this, and so I felt a nostalgia.
Now, Cath, we've done romantic comedy before on this show, romantic fiction. This is the first time we've had a man writing a romantic comedy. Who do you think the book appeals to? Did you, as a woman, feel that it served you well?
This is aimed towards men, it really is. I mean, it's very much Timothy's story, I think. And even though you know, it is this love story of Timothy and Naomi, it's very much his story. She's not an incidental character, but we learn so much more about him, and also because he's into self-love. Is that the expression?
That's fine. That's an expression you can use on daytime TV.
Quite a lot of self-love going on, and in toilets and so forth. And it's not the sort of thing a woman would want to read. I think it's more of a man's thing, really.
It's so funny, because before we came on air, we were having a chat about this in the green room, and you brought up this then. And do you know what? For me, that kind of the more earthy side of it, literally sailed by. I was actually fixated by the romance, by the slightly annoying lack of drive by the characters, by Timothy to get it together. And I also thought the names, really interesting. Timothy, we associate with, you know, Timothy, little Ronnie Corbett, an inept character.
He must have meant that. He writes
and actually, whereas Naomi was always quite arty, and, you know, Naomi's a painter, Naomi does drama. And I don't know, I found myself much more bewitched by the actual romance.
Yeah, I don't know, I think because when I was reading the book, and we're not going to reveal the ending, but I thought the ending was pretty predictable,
yes,
really, about their relationship and so forth.
Did that spoil your enjoyment?
Well, not really. I mean, the one thing that frustrated me about this novel is that Timothy, you just want to give him a punch a lot of the time, because he's just so passive, isn't he? I mean, the one...
But that's because, is it not of his religion?
I don't think it is.
Right.
I don't think it is, because, you know, the one time he goes after Naomi when they're both single and so forth, he makes a dog's breakfast off it, doesn't he? When he goes to the screening of Get Stuffed, which is Naomi's sitcom.
But he's
It's about his father that makes him feel really weak as well, isn't it? Because I won't give that away, but there's the relationship between him and his father. Even though he idolises his father professionally, there's something about what happened to his father in life which I think has undermined his own.
Well, his wife runs off for the plumber.
Okay, then reveal it.
So there you go. I mean, it's a detail that comes up quite early.
The thing that worries me about it being a book for fellas is the cover. That's the thing that really... I felt quite embarrassed on the train, like on the tube, kind of reading this book. You know, do you know what I mean?
You're a lot more macho than I assumed, Nihal.
Oh, yes. No, yeah, so then I got up and I chinned some bloke just to bring it right down to who I am. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, no, I didn't... I mean, that cover is not a cover for... Well, it's not lad-lit, is it, by any stretch of the imagination?
No, it looks like a literary novel to be honest with you. It doesn't look like a commercial fiction novel at all.
I agree. It looks...
It calls to young love.
Not the title, but the cover. It's got two curlews on the front. It's got dark colours. The heart is almost blood red.
I mean, I thought it was quite interesting. It's written in the present tense. And David Nobbs, this is a complete novelty for him. In fact, on his website, he's asking people to comment how they felt that worked, rather than all being in the third person and set in the past. Here we have a sort of active narration from the characters.
Well, David Nobbs has been compared to P.G. Wodehouse. He's actually one of my favourite authors of all time.
Do you think that's a fair comparison with this book?
Yeah, Wodehouse often writes in the first person in parts of the novel, and yet, I mean, the narration, the tone, the sort of slightly scathing and judgmental tone from the narrator is very P.G. Wodehouse, and it's quite gentle as well.
It's gentle, very middle class, I thought. It also evokes the time, the different periods you go through, the end of the 70s, the period of the 80s. I thought it got that nailed down pretty well.
Well, I think that...
quite rose-coloured.
I think the journey with the religion is part of the way things have changed, our attitudes have changed and so forth, because he starts off being very religious and it sort of gets more sensible, doesn't it? Which is the way society has been when it comes to religion.
Kirsty, what about a quick word from the people at home?
Okay, Michael in Cambridge says, brilliant book, so well written. I could easily identify with the characters. The religion aspect was intriguing with a comedic touch. I would recommend this book to anyone.
How interesting. I'm not surprised that it's a man that says that. I think David Nobbs put the man into romance. There we go. There's a nice twee note to end on. Now, we have a little token of thanks for you, Cath. It's this. It isn't champagne, by the way. It's better. This is Nye Timber English sparkling wine by Andy Murray. Is an English tennis player today. Cost less than 30 quid a bottle. It's made in England. Oz Clark got us into it. It's gorgeous. Enjoy that with our blessings.
Thank you.
And remember, if you've been inspired by what you've heard, you can buy Obstacles to Young Love from our website, 5.tv/rightstuff, and check out our list of summer reads while you're there. The perfect books for what's shaping up to be a fab season. Huge thank you to Anne and Nihal for a brilliant week, and to Cath as well for joining us this morning, not to mention all the other stars who give up their time to entertain you. A massive debt of thanks to our audience here, especially the regulars, who are every bit part of the family. Thank you. And most of all, thank you at home for choosing us, for watching, calling, texting and tweeting. We really couldn't do it without you. As I said, Right Stuff returns on 9th of August when celebrity guests include Lord of the Dance, Adam Garcia. Just time for Kirsty to toss the bouquet! I'll see you after the summer. Bye for now.
Would you like to be part of the Right Stuff? Well, if you've got something to shout about, then why not join our live studio audience? Call us now on 0207 173 5555. Get a seat and get on TV.
Two men accused of cheating face the interrogator next on 5. It's Trisha Goddard. We learn